Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Infiniti QX80 four-wheel drive in the Autograph trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 275/50 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 22-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Dynamic Metal. And this is the two-tone, so it has this kind of like a metallic metal gray finish paint, and then it has the black roof and pillars here as well, gloss black. So you can see it's quite a bit of a difference for the 2025 model. The front end has this flowing grille, very impressive. It definitely looks like a modern vehicle now. We definitely made a big step up as far as the change and the styling and the features as well. Very impressive. So it's all gloss black, kind of flowing down this grille. And then even this, the Infiniti emblem, it has this three-dimensional effect. It's also illuminated at night. Gotta check out my night video. But it kind of goes in a little bit. Has this cool three-dimensional effect. There's a camera integrated right here. There's a pretty impressive camera system with a lot of different features. I have a separate video just on the camera, which we'll be going over in this video as well. Now there is parking sensors across the front. You can see there's quite a big grill area, grill surface here, but there's some airflow here on the sides, kind of giving you the look of the width here, but also have the airflow flowing through that area and there at the bottom. Now it has a integrated dash cam, and the camera is up here, separate from the lane keep assist system camera. So there's actually a lot of cameras here in the front, sides, back, everywhere. Now the headlights are a projector system. So it's a multi-projector headlight LED system. And the headlights are located right in here. And this is a daytime running light up here, as well as turn signals. But yeah, all that's going to be going over in the night video, showing what the lights look like and how functional they are when you're going down in a dark road. Both low beams, high beams, you know, everything. Taking a look at the profile here, it is an impressive looking vehicle, and it's a large vehicle, so it really gets your attention, and like it stands out in the parking lot for sure when you're compared to other vehicles. So it has that two-tone where it has this metallic paint here, but it has all this here is a gloss black. From the windows up is all gloss black, except for the roof rails are separate. But yeah, it just has a really good job of emphasizing the length and not so much the height, so it kind of divides up the height. And with that gloss black, it does have these fixed steps right here and body colored handles which go flush with the vehicle when you're not using it, and has the side mirrors also gloss black. So you can see this design element of these daytime running lights that kind of extend here from the front to the side, and then right in here has a little element right here, looking pretty nice. And you see the handles are flush right now, but as I walk closer, they'll pop out. And then it has the Autograph signature Autograph here on the side. This is what the key looks like, and it's a pretty impressive new key for Infiniti. It has this kind of like a flat black here on the back. There's a physical key on the inside, and it's very functional, and there's a lot of settings you can go over on this vehicle. But it has remote start, lock, unlock, ability to open up the power lift gate, and a panic button. Let's go ahead and hit that panic button. It has a nice strong horn. So basically, right now I have the setting to where when it senses the key, it unlocks the doors, and when you walk away, it relocks. So as I walk up to the vehicle, it pops the handles out automatically. So that way I can enter the vehicle. Now, if I didn't have that setting to where it relocks when I walk away, I would have to, you know, lock the vehicle. But as it is, I can just walk away and it relocks, and it will, and there we go, it'll go ahead and pull in the handles as well. Otherwise, there is a button right here to lock, a little touch sensitive button, and then there behind the handle is the sensor to unlock. There's also a physical key location right here, so you just kind of pull back and you can use the key in there. So these doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, right to the step. And it has a fairly robust seal right here. So you can see the seal, and it keeps the debris and dirt and stuff from getting in the threshold area, and it meets up with this part here. And it has this burgundy, black, and different design elements. It also has the Klipsch audio system. You can see the aluminum, like laser cut aluminum covers over some of the speakers, and they are amazing. They look really good and sound really good. Really impressive sound system, and it's a reference system. In other words, it doesn't, it tries to give you the same clarity and same sound as the recording. And of course you can adjust it and all that stuff. It also has speakers in the headrest that occasionally, you know, for certain driver and passenger, that kind of stuff. But yeah, very impressive sound system. And I'll have all the details and the, it's like 21 speakers, all the details about that in a link in the description, so which will be a lot of other information like the specifications of the vehicle and all that stuff as well. Now you can see right here there's like this diamond pattern to these perforations here on the door. All this is soft touch. We have these flowing lines, once again emphasizing the flowing nature, like flowing water. The controls black out when you're not, when the vehicle's off. It's kind of neat. Sometimes when the backlit illumination turns on, it's not as bright as it should be, basically, and sometimes you can't really see them that good, but most of the time they're fine. But yeah, it's kind of cool having them all blacked out. When you start the vehicle, then everything illuminates. This handle can be also used as a little storage area, and it has a rubber bottom. And this is all soft touch here. This is a hard touch, and this is a hard touch, but this part right here is a soft touch surface. And this pocket right here it's okay. It works pretty good. It's kind of shallow in places though. It does have an illuminated sill plate here in the threshold area. Lots of adjustments here for a passenger seat. Not only can you go up, down, tilt, all that stuff here, tilt the back, four-way lumbar adjustment. These bolsters right here are adjustable in and out. And they also have a massage function here. So you have a button here for this massage, which has on the driver, passenger, and the second row, which is amazing. These are heated and cooled seats. And you see the diamond pattern here, which is also kind of a quilted surface. The black. And right where it meets up with the hard plastic, it does have a cloth protecting it. A little gray piping here, contrast stitching. Yeah, very impressive seats. And there's the speakers there in the headrest, which once again are the laser cut aluminum speaker grills, looking really nice. And I love this thick pile carpet for the floor mats. Feels really good. Makes you want to take your shoes off and just kind of get comfortable and relax. Just really nice. And it cleans well. It cleans up really well as well. They snap in place. And there's a little pass-through here, which the driver and passenger can share as far as just a little stuff, put a bag or whatever in there. There's a 12-volt power supply. There's also an SD card reader right in here for the dash cam. It's just right in this area here, kind of back in there. Don't want to take it out unless the vehicle's off and the dash cam's not in use whatsoever. You want to make sure that's all off before you take it out. Okay, so this is a soft touch surface here, locking glove compartment. Felt lined as well. Pretty good size. Then we have more of that vinyl or leather. Not sure what this surface here is. Usually they have like a vinyl or on these type of surfaces. And this is once again soft, non-reflective dash there. And it does have the handle on all four doors for entry and exiting. There's also a handle up here, of course, but this handle is really handy, literally. All right. So there's the headliner, which is a simulated suede material, and a huge sunroof. We'll get to that soon. So this is the type of vehicle that is kind of tall, so the little side step does come in handy. But the amount of space you have getting in and out is excellent. I mean, you're not bumping your head or anything like that. So the only limitation as far as getting in and out is maybe the height, if you know, so the step comes in handy. Also the handles as well. For me, it's fine. It's very easy to get in and out. I really enjoy a taller vehicle than a lower vehicle. So even the back door here, the swing of the door is nice. The opening is really nice. Very easy to get in and out, and a lot of space basically, and no skimping on anything here in the back door. We have the diamond quilted materials here, all soft touch, including right here. There's the pocket. There's the speakers. There's even a little ambient light strip here. I'll show you that in a night video. Illuminated sill plate back here as well. Threshold is nice and smooth. I like the way with this vehicle, some vehicles have a large hump to lift your legs over to get out, in and out. This one is just completely very easy to just swing your legs right on out. Same thing in the front. It's just a pleasure entering and exiting the vehicle. So the back seats, you don't have the ability to go up and down, but you can go forward and back, tilt the back, and then you have more controls in this little screen over here. These are heated and cooled seats as well. Has the latch system for car seats, easy to get to. There's no covers to take off or anything like that. Very impressive looking seats, very comfortable, as they should be. And it's almost a flat floor. There is a little bit of a hump there in the center. Once again, we have this really nice carpet, really impressive, comfortable carpet, and it goes all the way from one side to the other, so it's just a one piece. And there is mat pockets on the back of both front seats here. They're kind of tight. I guess this is a new vehicle. You can see it has the handle back here. There's climate controls back here, as well as 2 USB charge ports, 12-volt power supply. There's this touch screen back here. We'll get to that soon. And then there is a large compartment. You can put some stuff. It goes in there quite a ways. It's felt lined. There's 2 USB charge ports here as well. Cup holders. And a little storage cubby under here. If you can see that. Not as easy to get to, but it is there. Now, to access the third row, it's pretty easy. I mean, basically, there's 2 ways of folding this seat. The first one is to fold it down into like a cargo mode. But accessing the third row, you can actually leave a car seat in certain scenarios in the seat, and you press this button right here. Now, there's another way to move this as well, but I'll show you how this works. Just press that, and it does its thing. It kind of moves forward. And if you have a forward-facing car seat, you can theoretically leave it in place, of course, without the child in it. So now it kind of spoons up to the front seat there. And then there is the path that you would take to enter the third row. And the third row, the seats are quite a ways off the floor, so adults should have no problem with sitting back here. You can see the buttons here. There's also heated seats back here as well. USB charge ports, cup holders, more speakers. There's the latch system for car seats here on this seat only. You can see on the other side it doesn't have it in the middle. So there's only one car seat position back here. There's more cup holders, USB ports, that kind of stuff on that side. There's a light here in the center. The back of this console, there's nothing there. It's just smooth plastic, hard plastic. But you can see the floor is completely flat right there. And like I said, quite a ways off the floor. The seats are quite a ways off the floor, so your knees aren't sticking up in the air. So now we could just press this button, and you can press and hold it for a second, and it'll go back into position. And it's fairly slow, but this is good for, make sure everybody's out of the way. Nobody's gonna get caught off guard from like a swinging seat or something. And of course you can move it back and forth here like so. Tilt the back, all that stuff. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has 2 shark fin antennas up here at the top, gloss black. The third brake light is here at the top of the glass, right here in the rear spoiler. It's an LED strip. And there's also a windshield wiper that swings down this way. So it kind of swings down, so it's well hidden. It looks really nice and clean. There's also right in here, the path of the windshield wiper swipes over it. Right in here is the rear view camera. not the backup camera, which is located here, the rear view camera. And I'll go over that when we get up to the front. It's basically a rear view mirror and switches to a camera when you want to have it, a camera. The backup camera is in an excellent place, and it's in a high position, and it's in the very center of the vehicle. It's not tacked on with a tag or offset or anything like that. It's integrated. It looks nice. It looks like it's actually designed with the vehicle and not an aftermarket part. Now there's parking sensors down here, and there's also reflectors. These are not lights down here. And there is a full LED taillight system, which is fantastic, and it goes all the way. You can see lights going all the way across the back of the vehicle. Very impressive looking, very similar to the front, just impressive lights. And once again, you gotta check out my night video. Under this cover, there's these little plastic tabs here, and the cover comes off, and this is where you'll find the tow hitch, the towing package. It has a 7-way outlet here, and it's fairly easy to get to, and it doesn't stick out very far. Now you will need to, you know, have the hitch attachment on there with the ball and everything, but yeah, it's really well hidden, and it's looks like it's very well done as far as integrated into the vehicle, and it's easy to get to. You know, your outlet is there. You can also, you know, get an adapter for the 4-way if you need it. To open the power lift gate, you can of course use the key, or you can press this button right here, which is fairly easy to get to. Even if your hands are full and all that stuff, it's very easy. It's right there, very natural position. You don't have to feel underneath anywhere to press it. So this is a hard touch surfaces here on the inside of the door. And the camera is located behind this, the rear view camera. So it stays relatively clean. You just clean the glass on the outside of the vehicle. So if you have all the seats occupied with passengers, this is the cargo space. And you can see it's relatively small looking. It does have some tie downs here. You can also raise and lower the back of the vehicle here. Vehicle has to be on for some reason, but some vehicles are able to give you the ability to move it up, the back of the vehicle up and down a little bit without the vehicle being on. So you actually have to start it up. These buttons are for folding the seats down, these power seats. I'll show you that in a second. So we have some more tie downs here, net pocket place, tie downs here. And there is a power inverter, 3-prong, 120 volt, but it's only 150 watts, so it's very limited on what you could do with it. Now right here is a secret compartment. You probably can't notice that there's a secret compartment there. It's completely camouflaged. Nobody could possibly guess there's a compartment there. But this is a good space for putting extra stuff, like valuables or something that you want to hide. You can put different things in there. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool to have like a little secret compartment that nobody can tell is a secret compartment. There's no obvious handle or anything. Okay, so speaking of obvious handles, here's a little bit more space under here. Now this just kind of like is just laying there. This floor does have a little safety catch there, but it'd be nice if it was hinged or something. Maybe there's a good reason for that. So this is covered up on this side, probably amplifier or something. But over here, this is the front tag holder. If you lift this up, this is where you'll find the jack and the tools for the spare tire. And also the spare tire is underneath the vehicle. So as you saw in the very beginning of the video. Now, we wanted to lower these seats to add to the cargo space. So, you know, this is kind of small back here, but let's say we pick up a box, pick up a TV or whatever, and we don't have any passengers. All we have to do is start pressing buttons here. So let's go ahead and fold down this right seat here. You press that one, it'll start folding that one. Now let's go ahead and do the second row. So now we've added, let's say we had a long box, we can set it there, added to our cargo space, while still we have passenger space. Now, if we had the car seat in this spot, we would have to do the other side. But it's very easy to choose the seats that you want, press them, and they fold down. You can also bring them back up. So let's go ahead and pull that one up, pull that one up. There we go. So yeah, you can raise and lower them very fast, very easy, and add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space, or you can fold them all down and have a wide open space back here. Lower in the power liftgate, there's two buttons. One is to simply just lower it. The other one is to press that, it'll lower the power liftgate, but also lock the vehicle afterwards. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it locks with the vehicle. When the vehicle's unlocked, it will also unlock. And it's just a capless design, and it does require premium fuel. So just calculate that in your cost evaluation with this vehicle, because it doesn't get the best gas mileage in the world because it's so huge and all the capabilities that it has. So you can see everything's blacked out, looking pretty nice. So let's go ahead and start it up. Have the key in my pocket, press and hold the brake, and press this button. Yeah, I'm not sure that loud noise in the beginning. Every time I start the vehicle, see, it has this loud noise, and I try to turn it off, but for some reason there's no way to turn that off. It's just very loud, obnoxious, and interrupting, especially if you're trying to have a conversation or whatever, and then all of a sudden the vehicle has to interrupt for some reason. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now the floor mat snaps in place here. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and I like the way that it has this little slider right there, so your foot doesn't get caught up on the carpet here. And then it has a footrest there, large, very comfortable footrest, plenty of leg room as well. So let's take a look under the hood. So now you can see the daytime running lights right here, and also the illuminated badge, which looks better at night, but you can see a little bit during the day. To raise the hood, there's a latch. You can actually see it because it's yellow right here in the center. Just move it to the left, lift up on the hood. Takes almost no energy to lift it up. There's insulation under the hood here. You can see that. There's also seals in different places. They're in the back, they're in the front, here on the sides, partially for noise, partially for airflow. So you can see it has the, I like the way it has this white lettering here on the engine cover. A little bit of a style as well. Twin turbo V6. Battery is easy to get to. Look at the size of that thing. Huge battery. And the V6 is oriented like a rear-wheel drive vehicle, because that's what basically it is. Rear-wheel drive, and then it has the all-wheel drive system, which engages the front wheels when needed, you know. So most of the time it's a rear-wheel drive vehicle. There's insulation there on the firewall, and with the turbos, there's some heat shielding as well. Maybe you see down in there. So this is a 3.5 liter V6 twin turbo engine, and it puts out 450 horsepower with 516 pound-feet of torque, paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. It does have paddle shifters if you want to do that. Now it is a four-wheel drive system, all-mode four-wheel drive Infiniti system with an air suspension system. All these are adjustable, and it can tow up to 8,500 pounds, and it has a class 4 hitch. The blind spot indicator is here on the side mirror, that little triangle right there. And the inside of the driver's side door is basically just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. Do have 2 presets here. Power windows, all of them are one touch up and down. And they are laminated glass, so it's actually 2 panes of glass with an acoustic material there in the center. And the back windows, one touch down, and they don't go all the way down, and they're not laminated. That's as far down as they go. Side mirrors are adjusted here. Just pick a side, adjust with that little pad. There's also the power fold function. Press that, and power folds them in. Press it again, folds them out. You can also have it to where it folds in when you lock the vehicle. There's the door lock controls there. And you can see it has all the, basically the same functionality and adjustments as the passenger side. You can move it up, down, tilt, and all that stuff. Tilt the back, 4-way lumbar adjustment, bolster adjustments in and out, and then the massage function here. And once again, very comfortable seats. Hadn't had any problem with them. All right, to the left of the steering column, there is the electronic parking brake. You pull it out to engage it. It engages the rear wheels. And you can see a little bit of the green ambient light here as well. I have it set to green, and we'll look at it in the night video. Like I said, it does have the auto hold function that it holds the brake for you when you come to a complete stop. It has a little indicator light. Lane keep assist system, you can quickly turn it off. Most of the time it works fine, but on narrow country roads, back roads, stuff like that, it's just a problem, so I turned it off. So I'm glad it has a button to easily turn it off. Same thing with the auto stop start, idle stop system. I like to turn that off so it's easy to get to here. This is for the heads-up display. You can turn that system off and on quickly there, and then you can open up the power liftgate with that button. There's also a tilt telescoping steering column. Now, I'm not sure if this is because this is a early production model or prototype or whatever, but basically the seats always have to press this button to get the seat and steering column position that I want. It doesn't automatically do it. It stays in that forward position, the entry mode, until I press the button every single time. Before I put the shade up, I just want to comment on the heads-up display. It's actually fairly well done. It's large enough to where you can see it and everything, but it's not overly distracting or anything like that. You do have to go into the menu, sub-menu on the system in order to make adjustments, but it's not a big deal. You can actually do it while you're driving if you had to, but it's good to set it up before you start driving. Now, it does give you turn-by-turn directions up there, as well as the status of the lane keep assist system, and it has the ProPILOT. There's two different ProPILOTs, and it shows you the information there, because on the green ProPILOT will be just like a regular lane keep assist system or hands-on system. But the blue, like it turns blue, a little steering wheel and everything, and that way it's a hands-off system on certain roads. So it's pretty interesting. It's color-coded, and it gives you, relevant information without it's not going overboard, but it's also not distracting to me anyway. I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to show you the potential legroom here, which is unbelievable. It's lots and lots of space. And when you adjust the seats, it'll show here on the screen what you're doing, because there's a lot of buttons and you might get confused. So it basically shows you precisely what you're doing in that moment. Got your bolsters there, including the massage as well. So the steering wheel, very impressed with it. It's nice and thick here and open here on the bottom. And it has like this little, once again, flowing design here and here. And it is a little soft, so it has this very comfortable feel to it all the way around. And I like the thickness, because a thick steering wheel doesn't dig into your hands while you're gripping it. And it's soft in addition to that, and it's quite round. It has the stitching here on the inside, but it's not the type that protrude out and is bothersome. This is actually nice and round. It has a little texture to it, but it's not really a big deal. The paddle shifters here on the back are there in case you want to manually change the gears. And here's the cruise control here on the left, but you see right below it is the volume for the radio. So that bottom part is for the radio. So the change to the tracks here, the volume here on the left side. So you can see it's disconnected from the top part. Top part is the cruise control. And so you have to, the only thing about this cruise control is you have to turn it on here and then you set it. So it's 2 steps instead of just simply 1 step, But once you set it, you can resume by going up. You can resume by going up or down. So if you want to set to another speed, you have to hit the set button again. So it's a little bit different than other systems. It took me a little while to get used to it. But yeah, it's fairly straightforward. And then there's cancel here at the top. Now during the ProPILOT, hands-off ProPILOT, you can press this button to change lanes. So you can press the button and then, to use your turn signal, it'll change lanes for you. And it's a hands-off system, and it seems to be pretty solid. Now the regular system on narrow roads, I don't really like it because it's a little bit bothersome. I don't really care for it, but on open highways is where it really works well. And then you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you right here for the adaptive cruise control system. Here on the right side, it actually has this little scroll wheel that's angled, kind of like a 45-degree angle. It kind of lines up with your thumb. And you have these arrows and all that stuff. This corresponds with the screen. Matter of fact, this corresponds with both of these screens. You can choose what screen you want to use, this one or that one. So you can toggle to the right side, now you're controlling that screen. Toggle to the left side, now you're controlling that screen. And you have a left, right, you can press in on the scroll wheel, and you also have a back button here. There's the voice recognition as well. We'll get to that in a second. Windshield wipers front and rear are located here, and it does have the rain sensing system. Here on the left side is the turn signal. It also has the headlight switch and the auto high beams. You can toggle those on or off. They seem to work fine. So there's the off, parking, headlights, and then automatic there. And it shows you here on the screen what you're doing. Okay, so right now I have the regular, like a dial type view on the gauge cluster. And in the settings, that's called a meter view. So you can change the meter view if you'd like. So right now it has a digital speedometer, and you have the regular, simulated little dial there. There's the fuel gauge with the distance to empty. Here on the right side is the tachometer or RPM gauge. There's the odometer, how many miles the vehicle has. The status of the suspension system. It has a high mode, it has a low mode for entering and exiting. This is the automatic four-wheel drive system. And the information there in the center is, quickly you can scroll through and get different information here using the little scroll wheel. You can see the little bubbles here on the side showing that this part has different options. Now if I scroll to the right, you can see that it has like an image there in the background which you can customize. But let's go here to the right and left. So you can see it's part of a menu system. Little icons pop up. That's the home screen, and there's your different options on the home screen, that one or that one, which is nothing basically. The next one is this different information here, fuel economy and stuff, the status of the height of the vehicle, that kind of stuff is here. Scroll to the right again. The next one will be it's telling you how much fuel you're saving using the idle stop. So 152 milliliters. It's a very, very small amount. Alright, scroll up and down with this. And you see where the power is going with the all-wheel drive system. It's almost always going in the rear wheels. And here is the, this is the status of the wheel pressure, the tire pressure basically. Alright, scrolling to the right again. This will be the navigation. And when you have different views, it makes this wider so the navigation can get bigger. You scroll down here, and this is the digital compass. The next one would be your status of the radio, whatever's playing on the radio. Next one would be your roadside information there. Status of the lane keep, the forward collision warning, the blind spot detection system, and lane keep assist system. And this is also the status while you're driving. It'll show you, if there's a vehicle in front of you, that stuff, and that kind of stuff. Speed limit sign once again. Alright, going to the right, this is where your settings. So this is where you can go in here and set it up. So you can adjust your heads-up display, your driver assist systems. You can go in here and adjust any one of these. Let's go back out of that. Heads-up display adjustments. Eco mode setting, tire pressure, turn the clock on or off, and vehicle settings here. Now we go into the lighting. Let's show you what the lighting looks like here. You can have it beep the horn when you lock the doors, that kind of stuff. I immediately turn that kind of stuff off. You can go, there's maintenance and stuff like that, but customize display, this is what I was getting to. Hit that, and then you have change meter view. And then you have, right now we have it elegant. Let's go to dynamic. Kind of different looking. And enhanced is more of a minimalized look here. Alright. Main menu selection, so we can choose, if we don't want any of these things scrolling through on the main menu, we can uncheck those basically. You can also have the ProPILOT Assist display turned on or off. So now I have it in this kind of more minimal look on the gauges. When we scroll through, you can see it gives you information in different places here. It's pretty neat. Let's go ahead and turn on the navigation map. You can see it's bigger now that I have it in this more minimal view. So if we want to have the navigation on this screen, this is a better view in my opinion. So this screen over here is you can see it's a very small separation there. So it's kind of a continuous image from that side to the other for the most part. There's also a camera display that uses both screens as well. But we press this right button here, and now we're controlling this screen. So we can scroll around and make certain selections. Now this is a touchscreen, so it's not a big deal to, you know, as you're driving if you want to make a selection, but, you know, for me it's easier to just basically use the touchscreen. So this is the home button here, and you see these different views here. You can scroll through and it has these widgets. It's easy to get to here. And navigation map, let's go ahead and go to that. You can do different searches. This is a Google system. It has the you-know-what Google system, so you can use your voice to, you know, make searches and stuff like that as well. The next one is the audio. So there's different audio sources: AM, FM, satellite radio, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth, and then you have the USB ports there. There's also Amazon Alexa and Spotify as well as apps. The next one is pairing your phone. So once you pair the phone, you have access to everything here. There's the home button. You also have the, you see there's the different phone options there. They're ones that's already been paired, and you can of course connect Wi-Fi and vehicle hotspot. Now Wi-Fi is really good because you can also download the files off of the integrated dash cam, which we'll get to a second. Alright, so this is the Hey Google system. So you can see it does a pretty good job.
According to Wikipedia, the system is an American synth-pop duo that debuted in the 1980s.
I don't know what that's talking about. Alright, so this next one here, there's the integrated dash cam. Alright, so I have the shade over this, over here, so it's getting like a big reflection here. But there's the front and rear views, and you could take a photo and all that stuff. It also has the inside camera here as well, which the shade is covering up some of it. And then we can go into the settings here. There is a lot of different things that you can set up here in the settings. So you definitely want to take your time when you first get this vehicle and go through all the settings and fine-tune it as best you can. You might have to do some more adjustments to the settings, but there's a lot of stuff. So this one has a really impressive sound system. So when you go into the sound settings, it has, of course, bass, middle, treble, that kind of stuff. It has this DJX surround system. And when you have that turned on, it'll use these speakers in the headrests more. Because sometimes it just doesn't use them. They're just there in case you get like a phone call or something like that. And then it directs it directly to the, you know, you can have it set up to where individual audio settings, to where it has the navigation and the phone directly to the driver and not to everybody. You know, you can have that set up if you want. But if you want to have a little bit of sound coming from the headrest, the DJX 3D surround system is pretty impressive. It kind of helps out with all the making it sound amazing. It already sounds so good. It's a really good sound system. Very impressive. And like I said, there's a link in the description that's going to have all the specs and details and everything for the vehicle, sound system, everything. Dash cam, everything is going to be in that link. So there's a volume for the radio, change to the tracks here for the radio as well. It's kind of, you know, not easy to reach or whatever, so you do have to use the steering wheel controls, but it's kind of in the middle. Even the passenger has a hard time reaching it, but it is kind of cool, I guess, the way it's in that it looks good anyway. So this has the gear shifter here. I'll get to the screen in a second. Four-way flashes are here, and then it has the gear shifters here. So it's simply just pressing a button. And so there's park, reverse, parking sensors will turn on, camera will turn on, neutral, and then drive. And when you put it in drive, if you press the drive button again, it'll go into manual mode, and you can use the paddle shifters and it'll show you what gear you're in right there. And you can just put it back in park here. This is where you can select the automatic height of the vehicle depending on the terrain, and then if you need to go to the camera, you just press that button. And let's go ahead and show you the camera system now. So when I press the camera button, if I press it one time, it's going to show one of the camera views, but I can keep pressing it to cycle through the different views that we have here on the screen. So right now the vehicle's in park. I don't have it in reverse, drive, or anything like that. So just want to show you where we're at, because this will be more important when I show you some other views. So this is the 3D view, and we can actually kind of see the vehicle, which we could change the color if we want, and we can see what's directly around the vehicle. And you can see those lines, you know, represent the width, including the side mirrors. and you can see around very well. You know, it does a really good job of, you know, representing everything around the vehicle, very clear and high clarity and just natural looking. It just looks really good. Today's a really cloudy day, so it's able to still pick up, even with this lower light, how all the details and everything around the vehicle. And you can have these quick views here, like so, if you get disoriented, I guess. But you could just grab it and move it around. So that's the 3D view. It's helpful in certain scenarios. So let's go here to this is probably the normal view that you would see in most vehicles, where it has a top-down view, and then it shows the front view. Since we're in drive, it's showing the front view. If we put it in reverse, it'll show you the reverse view. So I'll show you that right now. So you can see the active guidelines. As I turn the steering wheel, it shows where the vehicle is going to go, and then you can see the active guidelines there, with also a center line as well. And you can see, I don't know if you can tell, that it has the tire track here and here separate from the width of the vehicle. So it shows you the tire track, shows you the center, and all that stuff. Now that red line is showing you basically, you know, you don't want to get any closer to that because that's like super close. It looks far, but it's actually very close because this is kind of like a wide angle view. Alright, so let's put it in drive. When we put it in drive, it'll show the front view. Now there's this second view right here where it shows the front view with the active guidelines, but also shows the side of the vehicle. So it's actually removing the vehicle and only showing you the side. So that's the front tire there. So as I turn the steering wheel, you can see the wheels turn, so we can get a precise view right where the wheels are. So if we're getting close to something, we can avoid hitting it, but if we need to get really close, we can keep an eye on it, that kind of thing. This next view right here is very interesting, and that's the reason why I wanted to show you where I'm at, because this is the front of the vehicle, but it's actually showing you both ways. So it's actually, it's so well done as far as not looking too distorted that it's kind of confusing sometimes when you first see it. So I'm pulled up to that curb, and it makes that curb, it just shows both ways, like to right and left. So if you're pulling out of a parking space, or if there's a wall or some kind of barrier and you can't see, this gives you that view right in front of the vehicle. Like right where that camera is the very tip of the vehicle in front. And so you can see around corners and stuff. Excellent idea, and it works really well. Some vehicles have this, you know, especially in backup cameras, but it's a little bit distorted, looks a little bit weird. This one actually looks so well done. It's a little distorted there in the center, but man, is it just well done here in the front. And then there's this next view. It's called invisible hood view. I think it's something like that. So right now you can see under the vehicle is a shadow. But you can see the tires, and you can see the angle of the tires as I turn. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put it in reverse. So we're going to have a different view here for a second. But so I can get away from this curve. This is required to do this. Alright, so let's go back to this invisible hood view right here. So it was able to get enough information to estimate what's underneath the vehicle. So as I move, it's taking a view, kind of recording a view in front of the vehicle and then passing it under as I drive to kind of just give me, you can see it's a little bit disconnected, but it gives you a general idea of what's underneath the vehicle now. And as you're going slow, you see that line. You can see it's generally straight. It's a little bit distorted, but you can get an idea of where the angle of the tire and what's certainly on the outside, but underneath the vehicle too a little bit, just to give you some context. And it's kind of representing an invisible hood, like you're looking through the vehicle. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea. So now check this out. If we hit this button right here, this expanding button, it expands the view across the complete screen here. Basically, there's a little divider here. It's actually two screens, but across both of these screens is the view. So as we're driving, we can see a really big expanded view of what we just looked at. Thought that was pretty cool. Now, it's not like you're driving fast. You know, this is for like off-road, you know, like a tight parking spot, something like that. If you go too fast, then this view will go away. You can't really like rely on this for driving around fast or anything. It's not like you're on the highway looking at this or anything. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. It does a decent job of just kind of filling in what's underneath the vehicle. But yeah, get that view all the way across. You can do the same thing with this view here, but it's basically just showing you what's in front of the vehicle. So it's not as, it's still kind of, it's very useful, but it's kind of not quite as fun as this one right here. Let's see, let's go to this. Yeah, that's the one we saw. Alright, let's go back here. So yeah, there's that front view. And okay, so yeah, so this one all the way across from one side to the other, we can get a good view. So this is that really wide shot. So it makes everything, make it to where you can see both ways. So I'm going to pull back up to this curb so you can see what I'm talking about. It's that original view that as we pull up, we can see both ways in front of the vehicle. You're able to expand that as well. And here's another cool feature. So like right here is, look, you can drop a pin basically on the GPS. And what it'll do is this camera view will pop up. Let's say you have a favorite parking spot. And you park there regularly, and you want a particular view when you get to that parking spot, so you can nail the parking spot and make sure you're in there, you know, precisely or whatever. Well, you can choose the view that you want, and then you can drop this pin, and then as you get close to that parking spot, it'll go up and pull up that parking view, whatever view that you want, and then it'll give you the ability to, you know, pull in there properly and everything. I thought it was pretty neat. It's this one right here. You have that ability, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's the only one that gives you that view. So yeah, you can drop a pin basically for that particular view. So this really wide view, you can drop a pin for that, and then you can make this wider if you want. Okay, so I'm pulling back into that spot where I was. So as we get close to it, it should pop up that view. Since we weren't there and now we're getting close to it, let's see what happens. There it goes. It sensed that we were getting close to that spot that we were at, and it pops up that camera view that I had dropped the pin on. Nice. So it has an integrated dash cam, and it does the front, in front of the vehicle, behind the vehicle. There's also an inside camera as well. So you can record audio and video basically in all these different locations. It comes integrated with the system, the actual footage. I got it on a high bit rate. You can change the bit rate to, you know, high or low or medium. It's like it has different levels there. Plus you can choose how many minutes you would like to record. So like if you want to record just 1 minute or whatever, also record on impact and all that stuff. So yeah, it seems like a pretty advanced integrated, like an actual integrated dash cam. This vehicle has a mirror, like a regular mirror, and it also has a camera. And so the camera system is designed to where if there's, you know, the visibility behind this vehicle is pretty decent, but if you have a lot of passengers and all that stuff, and there's all these headrests in the way, and you have cargo piled up, this camera is a lifesaver because you can see directly behind the vehicle. So really done. So it has this full menu system here. So you can choose brightness, you can choose to go up and down. So let's go back up to brightness. I can show you the different brightness levels here. So you can go up pretty good. And let's go down here. You can go into the negative numbers as well. The center range is pretty good, is pretty decent. Let's go down here to up and down. Now we can, I like to pull it down because it's already a tall vehicle. So you can see you could look at the trees if you want for whatever reason. But bringing it down lower is more convenient. I bring it all the way down because it is a high vehicle. I want to see, like, you know, directly behind the vehicle. So, you know, having that ability to do that is really good. You also have a rotation. So let's say, so if it just doesn't look level to you, it just doesn't look right, you can, you know, just give a little bit of adjustment there to make it look better for your eyes. And let's go. Indication, let's go ahead and, so the indication, if you turn it on, it's going to have alerts here on the screen, so you can turn that on or off. It could be blind spot alerts, it could be, you know, a variety of different things. And so let's go here, make sure that that is on, and then let's go down here to the dimming mirror, which is this part, auto dimming mirror. You can change that on or off in this little menu. You can change the language, and then we can view the license here. That's kind of interesting. So it has like a full license for the software in the smart mirror. A lot of information there. But yeah, it was pretty neat. But it's very handy. Having a mirror that's just a camera is good, but this one is a smart mirror, so it's got a lot more features than a normal camera system. So this separate screen below the main screen is intended to separate some features down here, so it's not getting in the way of the infotainment screen. So it is mostly climate, and so you can go here to front, rear, and it has like a tactile. When you press it, you kind of have to press it. You can't just, it's not like like your cell phone where you just touch it. You have to actually press it, and it has like a little vibration feel when you press the button. So there's the front climate control, and you can adjust the fan speed, temperature, where you want the air to blow, all that stuff. You also have heated and cooled seats, 3-stage, driver and passenger. And then the front rear defrosters, all that. You do have an automatic climate control as well. You can turn the climate control off here. You can recirculate the air automatically there if you'd like. And then the rear, it's basically the same thing. It has heated and cooled seats back in the second row seats, which is amazing. And you also have this mode button, which you have a lot more functionality. You have the ability to raise up the vehicle. You can have it lower down in the access mode. There's also an auto button down here as well for automatically letting the vehicle choose what height is best. You also have your 4-wheel drive high and your auto 4-wheel drive buttons. Traction control off, default will be on. Then you have your drive modes here as well. So you can have one that you can personalize, change the steering feel, the ride quality, the acceleration, that kind of stuff. You have an eco mode, sport, tow mode, and then a snow mode. So this will be accelerating slowly, keep you from, you know, spinning tires. But standard is actually pretty good. It's not overly slow or anything like that. You know, all of them have their uses, but standard is actually pretty good. Some vehicles, the standard mode isn't very good, and then I have to switch to sport mode, and then there's problems with that. So this one actually has a really good standard mode to, you know, just for everyday driving. Okay, so this area here, this is the cup holder area. And has 2 cup holders, has little articulating arms here that hold the cups and bottles and stuff. And there's a rubber floor at the bottom, so if you put stuff in there, it's not going to slide around as much. This also opens up, and this is where you'll find a wireless cell phone charger. And there's a felt-lined area. There's also USB-C ports here as well. But there is, you can see there, I just turned the lights on so you can see they're illuminated. But when you put the cell phone in there, there's no like indicator that it's charging. You just gotta like assume that it's charging. It seems to work fine, but you know, it'd be nice to have some kind of light to verify that it's actually charging somewhere, just to let me know, because there's been times where I thought my phone was charging and I get to my destination and my phone is half dead and I needed that battery power, you know. So having that certainty is good. It also has this like this rubber piece that you can take out, clean it, put it back in, which helps out if you accidentally drop something down in there. You can kind of slide this out and get it out. So yeah, it works pretty good. I mean, it's a decent system here, and it seems to work fine. I mean, even with my cell phone case, it seems to work. But I just wish there was some, you know, like verification light or something like that. Also, if you're resting your arm there, it's very easy to hit it and open these up. Alright, so this is kind of rubbery soft. It's not super soft, it's not cushy soft, it's like feeling a tire, you know, it's kind of rubbery soft. And this lifts up, and it has this little storage cubby right here, which is rubberized in the bottom. But this is a little cool box. They call it a cool box. And basically it just directs air conditioning in there. It does a good job. It's not like a full refrigerator or anything. It does have a seal here at the top. And it is like a hard plastic there on the inside. So it works as a storage compartment, but also a cool box at the same time. But I wish I had a light or something in there. Above the rear view mirror, there is a place to put your shades, and it has like a felt lining, like a real nice feeling felt all the way here and here on the back side as well. The interior lights, you can turn them all on with this button here. You can also, if you tap the lights themselves, it says like a little reading light. You can have the lights turn on with the door or not by having that selected. You do have a roadside assistance button right here. If you press that, it opens up the little door, and then you can press that button underneath it. And then these are the shade buttons for the sunroof shade, and then the sunroof itself here on the left side. We'll get to that in a second. This little thing right here is an infrared sensor, and basically it's able to tell the heat signatures for people. It's like they call it a biometric climate control. So basically, if you get, let's say you pick up somebody who's been playing sports or whatever, and they sit back there, then it senses that person's hotter than everybody else that's been not playing sports, sitting in the car nice and cool, and basically it'll direct more cool air and colder air to them. So that's what it claims anyway. So that's the little sensor for that. There's the inside camera, and then right on the other side is the exterior camera. The visor is it's kind of like a simulated suede material, just like the headliner here. It has a little clip right here. There's a mirror with a light, kind of small mirror. It does slide out on a metal rod here. And you can see it has a speaker here and a microphone here. So the shade covers 100% of the light. So let's go ahead and pull it back using the right switch. It'll stop about halfway. Press it again, and it goes the rest of the way back. There we go. So this back portion is fixed. The front portion moves. Let's go ahead and tilt it up. Pull it back down. Now we slide it back. Pull it back again. Goes back a little bit further, actually. All right, pull it forward. And we'll go ahead and move the shade. Can't move the shade and that at the same time. All right, so let's go ahead and do the shade now. Press it again to go all the way forward. So looking at the visibility here in the back, it does have headrests that get in the way. It does have pillars and stuff like that. But overall, hasn't really been a problem with driving this vehicle. It is, of course, supplemented by all the technology that the vehicle has, and I rely on the technology as well. But you know, just kind of looking out the side mirrors, looking over my shoulder, I can confirm and see around the vehicle fairly well. Now these front pillars, you can see it's kind of wide here on the passenger side. Wide, and there's no space between that and the side mirror. So on this side, has a little tiny space, but still these pillars are quite wide with a speaker and the pillar and all that stuff, and you know, all that. So it's something to get used to. You don't want to, you know, you just don't want to take it for granted. You definitely want to, you know, check everywhere, because these are the pillars that most people they underestimate the amount of stuff they can hide behind these pillars. They're mostly worried about the back ones, but these are very important to make sure, like say you stop it completely at a stop sign, that kind of stuff, because otherwise things can hide behind these pillars. So on camera, you may notice that there's some little lights flashing right here. There's infrared illuminators here and a little camera right here that keeps an eye on your face to make sure when you're using the hands-off system that you're paying attention to the road. So that's basically what that is for. So those little IR illuminators, you can't see them with your eyes, but with the camera sometimes it'll pick them up. So I really enjoy the camera system over here. Driving the vehicle in general helps out with tight parking spaces and just overall driving the vehicle safely. And the thing I noticed about it is when I started driving it, it is a big vehicle, and I don't usually drive large vehicles like this. Like this is, you know, I don't have a need for it, right? So when I started driving it, it's like, okay, it's a big vehicle and I'm driving it, and it takes a little getting used to. But then it drives so well, and it has a pretty good turning radius and fairly smooth for the size of the vehicle. You know, there's certain times in which it gives a little bit of a, you know, because of the height and everything, a little amplifies some of the bumps, you know, the lateral bumps especially. But I start to just drive it like a regular car and just kind of zip around and not realize that I'm like, whoa, I need to slow down, or I need to, you know, take into consideration that I have a much larger vehicle that I'm driving, because it handles so well. It feels good. It feels like I just want to zip around, you know, but it's just too big to do that. I mean, you could do it, but, you know, you really don't want to, it's nimble enough to do that, but you don't want to, you know, take chances anyway. Have a bunch of junk in the back, camera equipment and stuff. So I have it in normal drive mode, and we'll go ahead and turn on the cruise control, set it. And the lane keep assist system is in the green, so that is the hands-on system. And just take my hands off so you can see how it works. It just basically turns the steering wheel, tries to keep you in the center of the lane. And this road is kind of wide, and it's straight, you know, it's not curvy and all that stuff. But on backcountry roads where you have a narrow road and it's very curvy, this system it struggles, and basically it'll annoy you because it's constantly beeping out of you because you get too close to the line. So I just quickly turn it off. But on straight roads, especially highways, this really helps out with just kind of cruising on the highway. It keeps you at a safe distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, and you can adjust that distance there. And so yeah, highway driving, I've gotten spoiled with these type of systems where it just takes a lot of stress out of driving on highways. The only problem is you get stuck behind a slowpoke and you don't really realize it sometimes because it slows the vehicle down gradually, and then all of a sudden you're like, why am I going so slow? But yeah, it's so easy to just kind of zip around, even though this is a large vehicle. The acceleration is fantastic. And in the sport mode, the regular mode is fine, but when you put it in sport mode, it's amazing how the shifting and the acceleration just comes to life even more. It is quite incredible, actually. The first time I experienced the sport mode, I mean, it's not like you want to drive around in sport mode all the time, but you know, if you need that acceleration, it's going to give you a little bit of a punch to every gear shift is going to be a little bit tighter, and but yeah, it's pretty impressive. Let's go ahead and put it in sport mode. I don't see that many cars around. Go ahead and I just want to accelerate so you can see what I'm talking about. Now I do notice a little bit of like fake engine noise coming through the speakers, you know, but other than that, it is pretty impressive for the size of the vehicle size of the vehicle, size of the engine, and all that stuff. It's able to go. It feels really good. Now, there's not a lot of people in here. It's just me. There's not a lot of cargo. I'm not towing anything. I'm not going uphill, you know. So if I was going up a steep hill towing and then had a bunch of people in the car, maybe it'll struggle more. But yeah, it definitely will. But it's just a matter of how much. But yeah, I think a lot of people, when they see a V6, they're like, V6, that's going to be underpowered, but it's actually very powerful with a twin turbo system and everything, and the transmission handles everything well, very well, and it's smooth and quiet. Like sometimes, like listen to the sound system just a little bit in the background. It drowns out any kind of outside noise, any kind of road noise, any kind of noise whatsoever. There's not much. And it just feels like I'm completely, just separated from the world, and and everything. But yeah, real nice. Turn that idle stop off. Alright, go and set it there. Once again, we've got a slow poke. But let's go around this person here. Alright, so right now we have the green ProPILOT. So this one has the 2 levels. The first one, it depends on the road, you know, like some roads will not have the blue ProPILOT because the ProPILOT assist system only works on certain highways and stuff. So this part of this road has doesn't have the hands-off system. But we're just up here a little ways, it's going to turn to the blue section. I'll show you that it's a full hands-off system, and it works fairly well, you know. And this green one, the first level, works well too when the roads are nice and wide and, you know, not a lot of turns or anything. It's a relatively straight road. And the heads-up display is really well done. It's sharp, clean. It's not blurry. Everything's large enough for me to see, and it's not distracting, you know. Adjusted it for me, and it works well. Overlays on the road perfectly, basically. All right, shortly after this light right up here is the section of the highway that will be the hands-off section. It's just not very long, but this is the one that's closest to me anyway. All right, we're still blue, and you can see it has the information down here, like it's showing other lanes, it's showing that vehicle there, vehicle in front of me. So it has information on the heads-up display and down here. All right, so it just turned blue. So now we have a hands-off system, and so I can just let go of the steering wheel, and it holds the steering wheel within the lane. It can see around the vehicle, see different vehicles. There's a vehicle coming up to my left. It's giving me the indicator for the blind spot, both on the screen, the heads-up display, and on the mirror. It's showing the vehicle pass. And this whole time, my hands are off the wheel. It sees this other vehicle coming up and passing. All right, so now this is a construction zone, so it's going to turn off the second level of the ProPILOT. But yeah, just to give you an idea of what it's like, the 2 levels there with the ProPILOT assist, it is pretty handy, especially definitely on highways. It'll make you spoiled. I'm not me personally, I don't really care for the hands-off type systems, but you know, I would probably still hold the steering wheel, but you don't really have to, you know. So let's go ahead and change lanes. Go ahead and hit that button there, and it changes lanes for you. And we went back to the first level for some reason. Now, something I should mention, that this steering wheel has a grip sensor, so you don't have to, like some lane keep assist systems basically fight with you a little bit because it's trying to see if you're holding the steering wheel. That's the only way it can tell you're holding the steering wheel. This one, you simply just put your hand on it and it can sense your hand gripping the steering wheel. So it doesn't fight with you, and it doesn't force you to jiggle the steering wheel every few seconds, you know. So yeah, that grip sensor really helps out a lot with, you know, just not being an annoying system.